Hey y'all, happy Sunday. So listen, let me jump into it. Apologies, right? So I seen that Diddy has issued his apology to, Cassie, to everybody for his behavior, what he was doing, how he jumped on or whatever. So let's talk about it, right? Not him per se, but just apologies. What they mean, how much they weigh, what they do, what really is an apology, right? So you have people who, they have reasons to make apology. Diddy got many reasons, millions of reasons to come out and say and make this apology. You understand his whole livelihood is at stake. So you understand him coming out doing that. He have to. His PR done said, hey, you got to do something, So it's a lot of people who would question the validity of it, and the sincerity of it. Like, you just doing that, to save the rest of your businesses, or to save face, or to save, money, because you done lost so much. There's a lot of people who may not accept what he said, right? Which the reality is the only person really have to accept the apology is Cassie and God. What we think really don't make no never mind, right? So let's talk about like regular situations that cause for apologies. Now for me, you have some dudes, it's been my experience that you have some dudes that they apologize all the time. I'm sorry. Them dudes so sorry they become sorry to you. Like, goodness gracious, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm so tired of hearing that, bro. You just messed up too much, and then you think you could just fix it by saying sorry, right? You have those. Then you have the kind that, getting a sorry out them jokers is like pulling teeth. They don't want to take no accountability for what they did. Everything that happens, they can find a way to turn it around and make it your fault. So then they don't need to apologize because the root of the problem was you. Oh, them some immature jokers, right? I can't hardly stand them. You hear me? Oh, and I had one. Boy, look here. I can't. Oh, let me tell you something. Hey, take that joker back to his mama womb. You hear me? Like, boy, grow up. Like, everybody should be able to take accountability at some point, right? Now, people do get tired of hearing you say sorry. No, at some point, people want you to change behavior. Everybody can mess up, fall short, do stuff 1, 2, maybe 3 times. And 3 is too much for some things. 1 time is too much for some things. Like what he did that to that girl multiple times. So, and the first time he did it was too much, right? So, listen. So I say, how much do the apologies really hold? It is hard to get some people to even acknowledge where they went wrong at. So when you do have a person who's willing to acknowledge it, do you pay attention to it? Where do you go after that? What I realized with a lot of us women is that a guy sometimes he mess up so bad, and I ain't talking about somebody that's our husband. I'm talking about just these regular dudes that you might be dealing with. Because I think once he's your husband, based on them vows that you done said, hey, it's different then. And I ain't saying you have to accept everything that your husband put out, but it is some things you're gonna have to eat based on that promise that you made. But yeah, a lot of times women take apologies for meaning, okay, I'm never going to do that again, and we can start all over. And a lot of times that is not what he's saying when he apologized. A lot of times if you get the kind of dude that don't mind apologizing, a lot of times what he's saying is, I'm so sorry that you found out about this. I'm really sorry you found out about this, because I ain't even finna stop. So you gonna be mad a lot. This is who I am, and you just finding out about it. I am so sorry that this is going to affect you this way, because I'm not changing anytime soon. This is who I am. That's really what they're saying a lot of times, but that's not what we be hearing. We hear them apologies, and we hear something totally different. We almost hear wedding bells as soon as they start saying they sorry, as soon as they start crying and texting you multiple times and, babe, I want to see you, and ooh, we start, and we act like we not moved by that. But usually it's some portion of us that is moved by that, right? Just because we're emotionally attached. But you know who don't be moved by it? Your homegirl, when you be telling her, yeah, girl, he was saying he was sorry, he was crying. Man, your homegirl be on that other line like, man, I don't care nothing about that. Man, you finna go for that again? Like, your homegirl don't be moved by that. You know why? Because she's not emotionally attached to him. She's emotionally attached to you. She cares about your feelings. She knows that you're going to go through this a few more times. It's a good chance. And the fact that you going for this apology, hook, line, and sinker, like as if the apology means that he done got counseling and he done, sure enough changed his life. Your homegirl already know what it's hitting for. And to her, it ain't here for nothing. So it's hard to just make a one blanket statement in regards to how apologies, what you should do with them, because a large portion of it depends on what they did, how frequently they've done it, how it affected you, who knows about it, how disrespectful it was. See, it has to be it's levels to them apologies. Understand me? Because it's some things that once you do them, you got to give me more than an apology. You have to follow up with some changed behavior. You probably have to give me some time too to even digest that, because it's just that hurtful to me. It's just it damaged me in that way. So your initial apology, it may be everything to you, but to that woman, it's almost nothing. It's almost nothing. I remember one time my great grandma, she told me this. Like, we was at the table. I was probably like, I don't know, I had to be like in my early 20s or late teens. And she said, I don't even remember what we was talking about, but I just always remember this. And she said, yeah, you can apologize. She said, you could kill a man and apologize for it, but he's still dead. And oh, that thing just, it was minimal what she said, but heavy at the same time. Yeah, he's still dead. So now what do the apology really mean? What is him for? apologies to mean that, you know, they're going to do something different. They're going to be a different person. They're not going to. Well, how is all of that going to come into play and they're the same person? They have not done anything. They have not put in any work. They have not did anything. They ain't took no classes. They ain't listened to no podcast. They ain't got no life coaching. They ain't, you know, went to the pastor. They ain't got no counselor. They have not done anything to work on self. They ain't went to no retreats. Nothing. So why do we think when he say sorry that we're going to get a totally different version of him now? Why we think that? Because if we really, really thought about it, okay, I hear your apology. Thanks for calling. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for texting. Appreciate it. That's it. That's all we would take it for right then, until they come back and show us that they've done the work, where we can now take the apology serious, and we can take the apology to mean something more, because they've done the work to correct the behavior or to correct the mindset that caused the behavior, right? And listen, sometimes it takes years to change a person's mindset. It's some behaviors that a person could do one time and they never do it again. But their mindset, when their mindset is wired a certain way, it's hard to break that. It's hard to change that. Whether it's good or bad, it's hard to change your mindset. A mindset don't always just change overnight. It takes some things to happen. It takes a lot to change your mindset sometimes. Maybe it could just take a conversation. Okay, well, you have to get with the right person and have that conversation to get the mindset changed. Still yet, it may not happen overnight until you run across the one person that you respect enough to listen to them and change your mindset. I had a little video that I did where I was saying how when Scrappy apologized to Bambi, and I just take like people that we know, because of course we don't all know the same people, but some of the people we know, or we could Google it and find it on YouTube or something. I did genuinely appreciate the way Scrappy apologized to Bambi, because I thought it was heartfelt. I thought it really came from a good place. And the same would apply to him. It doesn't mean that he had a behavior change or a mindset change. That all of a sudden his behaviors was gonna change, or the things he said or did was gonna change. Nope, it didn't mean that, but it came from the right place where you could tell that he felt that he didn't always do the right thing, or that he should take accountability for some things, and sometimes that's enough for us, just depending on what they've done. Sometimes it's enough for us just to see that he's willing to acknowledge where he went wrong. Because like I say, some guys, it's so hard to get them to even acknowledge that they wrong. And I'm talking about usually them be the ones who be dead wrong. Like, boy, you so wrong, and you don't even want to say you wrong. Who raised you? Where you get this from? Like, So, I think we have to, it's always good to evaluate them apologies and not take them for more than they're worth. At the end of the day, I do feel like, ultimately God is the one that has to forgive you, right? But also at the end of the day, it's people that you living on this earth with, and you want them to have, to be comfortable with you and to have a good, overall viewpoint of you. So there's some things that you're gonna want them to forgive you for as well. And it ain't just men, y'all. It ain't just men. Let me tell y'all the other what they be sliding on this turnpike. I'm looking at them like, well, they dying to get there. You hear me? You dying to get there, cause that's what's gonna happen if you keep driving like that. But some of the other people who it's hard to get an apology out them, older black women. Ooh, let me tell you something. It's some older women, like, I don't know if it's the same for like older white women, I don't know. But you got some mamas and grandmamas that, boy, them sisters ain't wrong no matter what, you hear me? And the funny thing is this, I don't know if they really think they're not wrong, or they just got so much pride they refuse to let you know that they're wrong. One of the two. But when I say, ooh, it's hard to get all apology up out of them, you hear me? They will literally, they'll go on and they'll, keep going on as if they ain't did nothing. And I think that they use their generosity in place of the apology. I think, they use that in place, I don't know, but I have seen that across the board. Listen, that's why I said in another video, man, I think it was the one that I was talking about, like moms and daughters. It is some moms, yes, it's some moms that need to give their daughter some apologies. Man, it's some of us that's hurting. It's some daughters that we're hurting because of things that our mom said and did. And man, I went to a tea the other day with my grandma, and we did like a really nice little thing where you looked in the mirror and you talked about what you saw when you looked in that mirror. And man, it always get me when I hear women and girls say, well, my mom said I was ugly, or my mom said I was this or that, and it's negative. I'm like, man, well, don't be some hard pills to swallow, because if your mama is telling you certain things, and that's who's raising you, and years she's telling you these things, and they're not positive, that thing get etched in your heart and your spirit, and you start to believe that thing because she said it, and surely she knows. Man, my heart just go out to people who the point of hurt is their mom or is whoever, whatever person was raising them. That's their trigger point. That's where almost all the hurt and pain came from. My heart do go out to them, And me and my mama went through a lot of things. And I always say, like, I know I wasn't the best daughter. I wasn't the best daughter for a good part of life. And that was probably the same part of life that my mama wasn't a good mom. But I like to think that both of us, thought and saw a change at some point, because as I got older, I was better able to look past some things and just still try to do the right thing. That's what I couldn't do as a youth. I couldn't overlook everything that you was doing that wasn't right and just still show up in the way that you needed me. No, that took some maturity. That took a lot of prayer. That took a move from of God for me just to show up in certain ways when I know you had showed up for me, or when, you know, I know you felt this way, or you had said this or that, and, you know, the expectation was just for me to overlook it and still just be a good daughter. Like, yeah, no, I had to get to that point. You know, I had to get to that point, but I also had to get to that point while she was getting to the point where she can acknowledge where she was dropping the ball to. Because I don't know if I would have ever got to that point had she not ever started growing too. Because I don't know, I'm just where I am in life now. You just ain't gonna handle me any kind of way, and I'm just gonna still keep showing up for you. I'm not gonna let you use me in that way. No, I know who I am. I know the kind of person I am, and I know how I need to show up, and I try to do that for anybody who I'm entertaining. But at the point where you just gonna act however, and you not gonna give me that same level of respect or loyalty, guess what? Act like I ain't there, sis. You hear me? Act like I ain't there, because that's how I'm finna start acting like you ain't here. I ain't just gonna lay down and let you just use me. I'm gonna be as good as I could be to you, but I'm not gonna let, whether that's a man or a woman, I'm not just gonna lay down and let you just mistreat me. I don't think that's what I'm called to do. I think if God give me wisdom, then surely I should be able to see some things and be able to acknowledge some things and learn to avoid some things, even if some of those things are people. Now, do I have to love you? I have to love you, but I don't have to keep dealing with you. I don't have to put myself in a way that I'm a doormat. And I think that ties in to the apologies. A lot of times women think that just because he said he's sorry, that now this means I have to let you back in my life. I have to let you keep doing whatever it is you've been doing because you said sorry. You know, even sometimes when you show me that you're sorry, now I got to go ahead and be back with you, and I'm not married to you. That is not, no, that's not how that goes. It ain't. I don't have to ever talk to you again if I don't want to. Now, what I'm not supposed to do is try to sabotage you, or try to make life bad for you, or try to get you back and this, and that's not what I'm called to do. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing as a person, right? I'm not supposed to be doing that. But just because I'm not doing that don't mean I have to entertain you either. I'll never have to look your way. Never. I appreciate the sorry. Good, thank you. But you did it one too many times, or just the fact that you did it one time was enough for me. Thank you. I'm glad that you can acknowledge where you went wrong, sir. I tell you what, don't do it to the next female. Maybe you'll keep a good one the next time. And listen, I'm of this belief, right? I am truly of this belief that when a man deals with a woman and she's a good woman, and he does not respect that situation, what they have going on, and his actions cause a disruption in the relationship, right? I do not believe he get a better woman after her. Not out the gate. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. That's why I never care about who come right after me. I never care about who come right after me. Because if you did the dirt, I don't care what she built like. I don't care what her paper like. I don't care what her education like. She ain't got my personality. She don't have this, that, or the third. Nope. Look, I'm not mad at me. But I just don't think that you mess up with one person, hurt them, cause long-term scars, a lot of them, this, that, or the third, and then you turn right back around and get a woman equivalent to her or better than her. Now, I can't never say what God won't do, but I just don't think he operate like that. You know, how many women back to back, he just gonna let you ruin. Right? He might give you one that's already been ruined and she ain't care to do the healing. That's why she welcomed you with open arms. Meantime, he let me go so I could go ahead and do my healing or finish my healing and get back to being even greater. Understand me? So, yeah. Apologies, they are what they are. They're words. But at the end of the day, they're nothing without action. They're nothing without action. Now, in Puff Daddy and Cassie case, listen, I may be being facetious right now, but listen, if $30 million don't give you some level of relief, I don't think nothing else will. So, if she take his apology as genuine, I believe that will be the healing. That would be the closure that she needed. You know, he did seem genuine to me, but like I say, hey, he got a lot of reasons to be real genuine right now. But the fact that he did seem pretty heartfelt, he got on it, he acknowledged it. Well, he can't help but acknowledge it. We see it, you know. Now, had he did that out the gate instead of lying, saying, "Oh, people lying and all that," then it would have held even more weight. But you know, they acknowledged it. You know, said it. Hey, what else can we do? What are we gonna do? You know, it's done now. But that might have been the closure that she needed to see him have a genuine apology. If that wasn't enough, then no $30 million that he settled with her for, then maybe that's, you know, those two things combined. I don't think there's anything else you can get out of that situation, baby. I don't think there's anything else you can get out of that situation besides you taking accountability too. As a young person, she got to take accountability, you know, for making bad decisions. You know, you're dealing with a man who already had an old lady and kids, and that he wasn't married to and all that. Listen, those are the kind of things that we have to take accountability for as women. When we deal with certain dudes who have showed us certain characteristics, you got to pay attention to that. He got how many kids and he ain't married now, one of them women? Okay, well, will he take you down and up through there? Listen, except that you picked a guy who already was showing you bad character. Accept that, own that. Yeah, they may be two different things, but listen, it all makes up that one guy. It all makes up, it's all a part of that one guy. He's already showed you different areas where he was coming up short at. But because his money was so long, because he was famous, you was able to overlook all of that. Oh, it didn't matter that he already had 3-4 kids and one, you know, with none of them. Oh, you ain't care about that. You overlooked all that to get your tail dragged. See, a lot of times, that's why I see, listen, man, listen. A lot of times, us as women, two women that we tend to look down upon: the one that came before us and the one that comes after us. But the one that comes before us, you don't know what that lady been through. But we always buy into whatever he tells us about that lady, whatever he tells us about what went wrong, whatever he tells us. It ain't till you start going through something with him, you know, and then you finally get to talk to that other lady, and you realize, oh, this him, this who he is. Yeah, that's why they ain't together. That's part of why they ain't together. Yeah, the other female may have had some, you know, she might have had her own issues, but the stuff he was coming with, he never did heal from it. He never did get past the things he was doing. He never took the time because he jumped right into another relationship. He never took the time to work on the stuff that he needed to work on. So that's why he showed right back up in your relationship with those same things. Yeah. And the one after you, she gonna get the same thing too, because he did the same thing. He didn't take the time to heal. He didn't take the time to fix the stuff. He didn't even acknowledge what he was going wrong, gang. Yeah. So women, we have to start looking at men in their totality and how they show up all together. Now, everybody, whether it's men or women, ain't nobody gonna just have it all together. But there are certain characteristics that they show us. It's there. The proof is in the pudding right there. The facts on the table. Like you can look at some of his history and tell how he's built. What's going on with him. We have to start looking beyond how sexy he is, how fine he is, how well he lays down in the bed. Like, you gotta look at some other things, ladies. How deep his pockets is. Like, so what? That's his money. Anyways. Also, just because he got good genes don't mean that, he might be handsome, and then the children he make don't be good looking. I done seen that before. So, like, a lot of that stuff don't even equate to nothing. What is character like? What is personality like? What he stand on? What his principles like? What kind of man is he at the end of the day? What did his mama and his daddy teach him? Or not? What is family like? What does family stand on? What's going on with them? Like, yeah, so all of that ties back into the apologies. At some point in your life, you're going to either have to make an apology or accept an apology. So make sure you understand what the apology is and what it isn't.